Namaskaram everyone and welcome back to the podcast. Today we have a very dear Nehaka with us. Namaskaram Akka.
Namaskaram, Anna.
So Nehaka is a Isha Meditator, a volunteer, but an awesome and proud homemaker, and most importantly, our Shankaran Pillai.
Thank you.
So how are you, Akka?
First of all, thank you so much for such a beautiful introduction. And thank you so much for inviting me on this platform so that I can share those things about my life which I have never shared anywhere except for the Hindi podcast that you did.
The podcast, yeah. So people who love Hindi, watch the Hindi podcast, guys. Do not watch this. Because that has more masala in it, I'm thinking, because you haven't started taking this podcast, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So just before we go into the podcast, the audio version of this will be available on Spotify and Apple Podcast. And I'll also be timestamping this, so if it is most probably going to be a long podcast, so you guys can just go through the timestamp, check out the masala parts, and just listen to that, I'm thinking, if you want. So yes, Nehaka, so before we go into the podcast, can you talk a little bit about Shankaran Pillai and how that idea came about?
Okay, so that Shankaran Pillai idea actually came to me when I got initiated into Shambhavi mahamudra. After like 4 days of initiation, I suddenly got this idea from nowhere that I want to play Shankaran Pillai on screen. And at that time, I did not even think that it's a male character and I'm a female.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I was a very, till that point, I was a person who used to think a lot before making any decision. A long-term thinking and then coming out with some plan and then discussing it with a lot of people and then finally telling it to people. But this idea just came to me. And at that time, it did not occur to me that this is a male character. I was like, Shankaran Pillai, Shankaran Pillai. So I told about this idea to one of the volunteers here in Hyderabad. And then he told this idea to another volunteer. And then in one day, it reached the ashram. And Swami knew about this idea. So I got his number and they told me, you call Swami and ask about it. So I told Swami about this idea that I am like this, and I have this idea I want to do. And Swami said, okay, you do one thing. You make one demo video and send it to us. If we like it, you can continue. So I said, okay. And then I made a demo video. It was about inner engineering, I remember. So I sent them the demo video. They liked it and they said, okay, you can continue. So that's how the Shankaran Pillai on-screen journey started.
Awesome. So I just want to ask you, like, before that, had you played roles in your schools or college playing as a male part or something? Because you're very good at this. Have you played it before?
I have done acting. I have done like theater in the sense like backstage or something. But the most important thing is while I was growing up, I spent a lot of time standing in front of mirror and acting.
Wow.
Lot of time I've spent. So in my mind, I was already a person who is playing a character of myself, which I'll tell you more about it when I will tell you about my story. So this is how I groomed myself into it, because we all have some influences of the movies that we watch. So getting influenced by those things, the way how the actresses are, how their body language is, how they are expressing themselves, how they are delivering the dialogues and all. I learned a lot of things. And I implemented it from my childhood itself, but I never thought that I'll be doing something like this when I grow up. So
awesome, Akka. So now let's get into the main part. We want to know more about the Gwalior girl, like right from the childhood and what will happen, all the ghost stories we want.
Sure.
Yeah. So please, Akka, like tell us about your childhood, what you went through, what were the struggles, what were the happy things, what were the not so, okay things. Please, if you would like to start.
Yeah. So I was born in a middle class family in a city named Gwalior, which is in Madhya Pradesh. I was a very happy kid, active kid, but I was introvert. I did not used to speak much. The only way for me to express myself was through dance and this thing that I told you, standing in front of mirror and acting. But when people used to come around me, I used to become like a ghost. I did not speak much, though my perception was good. I used to perceive and observe everything around me. So I was in that mode where I am grasping more and reacting less. So I was a very good dancer. Dance was like my all-time favorite thing. And I have a good memory. So I remember my life since I was a 3 or a 4-year-old kid. For me, world, the world that we call this physical reality, the world that we live in, this concept I was not able to digest. What is this? For me, to differentiate between a dream and reality, the reality that we call the reality, that is this world that we live in with our parents and family and friends and everybody. So for me, I was not, able to differentiate between a dream and reality. So for a longer period of time, like for a quite long period of time, I was like, what is reality? What is this? Who am I? And these are my parents, okay, and these are my friends, and this is how things look here and all. So I felt like it's a bubble. I'm living in a bubble, and this is a temporary thing. I used to think like this. I don't know why, because I did not have any spiritual background. So, but while growing up, I somehow digested this thing, and I accepted these things, that this is the reality that we live in. This is a physical reality. And as a kid, I was not at all compulsive about food. And if you'll not give me food for like 2 days, I'll still be like happy. I will not complain about it. I was like this kind of have an aversion for food. I don't know why.
What about
And
sweets?
then
Nothing? Sweets or anything?
nothing. Sweets little bit as a kid, but mostly I was like not that compulsive about food. And for me, the best meal was a bland dal and a bowl of rice. No onions, no garlic, no tomatoes, nothing.
Positive pranic from
Yeah,
then
I
on.
don't know. I don't know why, but I like that kind of food, and I did not like any of the vegetables. So what my mother used to do is, I only like selective vegetables like ladyfinger or chickpea. So whenever my mother used to make it, she used to keep it like in fridge inside and hide it, so that whenever I'm hungry, at least she can take it out and give me, because otherwise I would not eat. Or what I would eat is, my father used to come home, because my mother didn't. I felt she doesn't do it well. So when my father used to come home from office, he used to make small pieces of chapati and dip it in milk, put sugar, and crush it until it becomes a thick paste, and give it to me like how we give to puppies. Like that, they used to give me. And I remember, because of this habit of mine eating this food, my mama, that is my mom's brother, he used to tease me a lot that if you'll eat this kind of food of puppies, you'll get a tail. And I used to cry a lot. So this is how my childhood started. I was a very active girl, so I like cycling a lot. So I was a very physically active kid. Why I'm telling you this is, physical activity is something we all must have in our lives. Otherwise, it will have a very bad repercussion on your life later. It can have. So that also happened with me. So which we'll cover later. So this was my childhood, all full of good memories and stuff. And I was a studious kid, so I like to study. And my summer vacations at my nanny's place. Nanny is my mom's mom. So I used to spend all my summer vacations at my mom's hometown, and all greenery and all. That was how my childhood was. We also have a garden in my home. So we always ate organic food grown at home, because my father was very fond of gardening and all. Though he was an engineer, but he was very much interested in gardening and planting trees and spending most of the time in the garden, which I also used to do. We make tents out of bed sheets, me and my sister, and we used to sit in the garden whole day, and eating there, sleeping there, and studying there. So my childhood was very nice. Now, so as a child, I would say it was a good, my childhood was really good. But when I was growing up and went through my teenage years, I started becoming more reserved. Now I have become more silent, because I don't know why.
Was there any
Sorry?
reason? Was there any reason for you turning silent?
I feel I don't know, maybe I felt that people around me are not able to understand how what I am actually, and I was not able to express also because I talked so less. Only with selective people I was like extrovert and I was, expressive, but not with all of them. And I also had very less friends. And also they used to ditch me. If I say this is my best friend, somebody used to come and snatch my best friend away. So I was like going through such turmoil at those point of time in school. And then so basically I did not have many friends, or I would say not good friends or many friends. Like school time was okay, but as I grew up, that also stopped happening, like making friends and all. And I started creating a very strict boundary around me. How I came to know about this is during my MBA, one of my teacher told me when she was counseling me. She was a PD teacher. So she told me that you have created a very stiff boundary around you, not allowing anybody to enter. I don't know why it happened. Maybe because in the society I saw that girls are not as privileged as boys are. That was a very, you know, that that experience, or seeing things around me like that created an impact on me. And maybe that was the reason I became so silent and, seeing things that, there is no equality, or there is lack of equality, especially in small cities or towns. When you see, it is more. And when I was a child, it was considerably there between a boy and girl. So maybe that was the reason. So I grew up, and then the college days started. I was a very innocent girl. Innocent in the sense I did not know any worldly ways of life, how world works and all. I was a smart kid. I was intelligent, intellectual, but I did not know how the world operates because I did not have any exposure of the world by that time till I entered college. I used to go to the school and come back home. In fact, in college also, I used to go to college and come back home. And people used to call me, ये बहुत भोली है. She's very innocent and naive. But I was a studious girl. I used to top my classes, and college also I used to top. So after my graduation, during my masters, things started changing for me, and the worst nightmare of my life started in my when I was doing my masters. So what happened is, a person enters my life. I am in my first year of my masters. I was doing MBA. This person enters my life. I cannot reveal the identity or whether it was he or she. So now this person does something. This person gives me certain things like a bracelet or something, and gives some sindoor or something, and by convincing me that this is something beneficial for me. And I did not have any idea about what it is. I was a naive girl. I did not know that somebody can do some harm to you by these things also. And also I've never heard of such things from my parents or something. So I said, okay, I wore that bracelet. I used to apply that tilak and with that sindoor and all. Suddenly, some weird things started happening with me. Weird in the sense, what started happening is, I started getting nightmares. I started getting scary dreams. And the pattern was similar. One lady used to come in my dreams with a white sari, old age, and with a very horrific face. She used to come and haunt me in my dreams. And it became a regular pattern. Every day it used to happen. Now, till that point, I was a girl who was like very bold, who can roam around the house or the terrace at night. But these incidents changed my life, and I became like very, very scared. So other things also started happening. Like, suppose I'm sitting in a room, I used to hear voices which other people are not able to hear. And suppose I am sitting here, and like it is happening, like it felt like some lady is sitting in some corner of the wall and is laughing. And only I was able to hear that, and I was not able to explain to my family members that I'm hearing voices, or these things are happening with me, and these nightmares are, I'm seeing and all. And lot of things started happening which I was not able to explain, and the amount of fear that now I am in is that I started sleeping with my mom. I was not able to sleep alone. So during the night, that 2 to 3 a.m. period, that was the most dangerous time for me. A lot of nightmares used to come during that time period only, and sometimes I used to feel like somebody is giving me 100 volts current. So my body used to feel that shock in dreams, and I used to get up scared, and I used to shout and all. So these things started happening.
So the bracelet was still with you when these dreams were happening?
No. I think I threw it away after finding out that some way I just figured it out that this is the cause of all these things. So whatever that person gave me, I just threw it away. So all these things started happening, and then I told my mom that these things are happening with me. I don't know what is all that. And firstly, my parents did not believe at all. They were like, no, there's nothing like that, because they have never seen something like that, and they did not come from that background where these things are common. So I tried to explain to them. They did not understand, but they knew that she's scared. Something is happening with her. So she took me at some place, Pujari or somebody. Then she told that somebody has done something to this girl. And but I'm still in touch with that person, because I did not know that this person has done something to me. So I used to talk to him on call and this and that. And someday, maybe out of pity or something, that because of what I was going through, that person itself told me that somebody has done something very dangerous to you, in the sense that even that person doesn't have this idea what he or she has invoked and sent behind you.
Right.
And how do this person knew that? That means that person was involved in that.
Right.
She or he did something to me. I was in such condition, such miserable condition. And it grew to such a point that I saw in my dream, I saw that I was on my deathbed. And that person is there. In that dream only I was there, and he or she was there. And I was lying on my deathbed, and I thought, I'm going to die with this, because I don't think there is any cure for this, because I was mentally drained, physically drained. So somehow I came to know that maybe somebody has done some Vashikaran to you. Okay. So I thought, let's search about it on internet. What are the symptoms when somebody does some Vashikaran or black magic or something like that to you? What happens? So there was a big list. Out of that, I remember that I saw, you see weird animals in your dreams that don't exist. So that was happening with me. You get severe headache when you try to do the opposite of what that person wants you to do. That was also happening. Whenever what that person is saying, I used to go by that. I was in good condition. But as soon as I say, no, I can't do this, I start to get severe headaches, such severe headaches that I used to just tie very tight cotton cloth around my head and my eyes. I used to just sit like this or sleep like this. And a lot of other stuffs that, whatever energy they send, if they have sent something behind you, that energy is like physically and mentally, that energy drains you physically, mentally, so that you become so sick that now they can take away your life. So then I was like, what to do now with my life? I was a studious kid, and I was such a good actor at that point of time, that I was going to college, I was meeting people, but I never showed that something like this turmoil is going on in my life, because I knew I was not able to explain, and if I explain, they are not going to understand. If they understand, what is the point? So I just behaved in a way that everything is normal in my life. Apart from my family, nobody knew. Now the whole world is going to know. So suddenly I lost all hopes that I'm going to live. So what happened? I don't know how. Maybe because of some good karma of past lives or what, I don't know. What happened? In dreams only, I started getting hints what I should do to cure myself, or to take myself out of this situation. The first dream I remember I got was, I am chanting Hanuman chalisa in my dream. Full right from starting to the end Duha. And I woke up and I thought, I have never read any Hanuman Chalisa in my life. Why and how did I do that in my dream? So I thought maybe this is a signal and maybe some energies are trying to help me or something. So I started doing Hanuman Chalisa. And especially during that period of night from 2 a.m. to 3 a.m., I was not able to sleep. So I used to get up and read Hanuman Chalisa or just put an audio of Hanuman Chalisa. And the thing is, I could feel the presence of a negative energy around me all the time. I could literally feel that. But since those dreams started coming, and then somebody told me, you do Durga Saptashati, Durga Kavach and all. So for that, what you have to do is you have to take a bath in the morning and do, and in the evening again you have to take a bath and you have to do. So even when my exams were going on and everything was going on, I used to do that. And that suddenly opened up this dimension of dreams in the form of intuitions for me even more, in a way that now I started seeing my future in my dreams, that what is going to happen with me next. And so in my dream, I started seeing that when I started doing Durga Saptashati, I used to see that a lion used to come and sit next to my bed to protect me. And I thought this is a signal, and the bigger energy, or what we call as bigger energy, or somebody up there is trying to help me. So I started following my dreams even more. Whatever I used to get in my dreams, some good signs, I used to follow them. Suppose some signal is there that I have to do this mantra. So how I will see that in dream is, I will not see that mantra. What I will see in my dream is whatever is written in the mantra, that thing happening visually. I could see that. That suppose the next day, I didn't know that. So next day of this dream, one of my friend gave me a Hanuman mantra. So just before just the last night, I saw a dream in which Hanumanji is doing literally what was there written in that mantra. So now I got to know that this is a signal that that I should do this mantra and all. So that way I was held in a very unconventional way, and but these things did not go off completely, the bad things, seeing these things in dreams and all. And once I saw, because I started doing all these things, now I saw that this lady is scared of me in dreams. I mean, in some way she knows that there is some power who's helping me. So I remember this dream, which can give the viewers or the listeners a goosebump. What I saw, I did some specific chant, and that night I got this dream in which it's night. Always in my dreams, all the scary dreams, everything when I saw, they all happened in the night scenario. So it is a night, very dark night, and winds are gushing. And so we have a Porsche in my home, and where we used to park our car and everything. And then next to it is a living room, and there is a door between them. So that wind is gushing, and it is trying to open my that door, which is in between the Porsche and the living room. And I am rushing towards it to close it, because I am hearing an old lady crying or howling. So I am going towards the door to close it, and when it kind of opened a little bit. So I just sneak peeked, and what I saw, that lady was split into half. Oh. That scary lady was sitting right there in my Porsche, and she was split into half, and she saw me and she was crying more. And I just closed it in my dream, put the latch, and I just ran.
I would need Hanuman Chalisa tonight. I need Hanuman Chalisa.
Can you imagine? This was the level of the dreams that I was getting every day, on an everyday basis.
And you are remembering these dreams so clearly, yeah? That's what I'm thinking.
Because I was. It was like if I was actually living those dreams.
Right.
In reality, nothing was happening, but in dreams, the whole world was upside down for me. So these kind of dreams started occurring, and that was the level of my fear at that point of time, that I could not go to the washroom without telling my mom that I'm going to the washroom. Just stand outside the washroom. I have to go. It was like this. And so somehow I don't know. There were many people who helped me through this. I know. In my college, I had a classmate. She was really He was really helpful. He was also a graphologist. I am also a graphologist, which I tell you later about it. So he had a guru. So I told him my situation. He somehow got some help from his guru, and they tried to get me rid of all these dreams and all. And so he asked me that, are you relieved now? So I used to say yes. Somehow I'm relieved, not that much, but yeah, it kind of the frequency stopped, but I was scared like hell. I mean, I thought I will never be able to be normal again, that I'm able to sleep alone, like that. And when I was doing my masters, I got this dream that out of nowhere I got this dream that I'm meeting a guy at one of my relatives' place, wearing spectacles, and they're talking about my marriage with this guy. And I remember what conversation we had. The only thing that was not clear in that dream was the face of that person, because it was blur. But I knew what he's wearing, that he's wearing a specs, he's wearing a black t-shirt, and this is the relative we are meeting at whose home we are meeting, and this is the conversation going on. After some days, when it actually happened, I realized this is my future husband.
Wow.
So I got the things got well. We liked each other, and then we decided to, our family. It was an arranged marriage, so my family decided, okay, it's a good match. So now the thing, what happened is, since these dreams that were guiding me, now they are guiding my for my future also. I am getting to know about myself, what future holds for me, and sometimes for the people around me also. And sometimes some dead people also who are not alive, but they are trying to give some messages. But I don't know how I can help. They know that I am having that antenna, but even I don't know how I can help, because I have no control over this power. I mean, whatever you call it, intuition, power, or whatever. Through my dreams, the intuition that I'm getting. So what happened one day, we were not able to decide our engagement date, because I was already doing my masters and it was not over, and so somehow it was complicated. They were not able to decide one date for engagement. So what I saw, I remember the dream that I saw. In the dream, what I saw is, till that point it was not clear that we are getting engaged or something, or if we are, what is the date or how to fix that? Should we do it after my master is completed or before that? So I saw this dream in which my father is distributing some invitation cards to all the relatives.
Okay.
And then he goes to, after distributing all the cards, he is going towards an abandoned bungalow, a dark bungalow. He is going inside that to give invitation card. Now he entered that place, and I saw him entering that place, and it's like in my dream only, I'm talking to myself and saying, it's been a long since he went inside. He's not coming out. What is the case? Let me check. Let me go. So in that dream, I go inside that abandoned
bungalow,
horrific looking bungalow, and in the front yard, there was a big front yard in that bungalow, but it was all scary, like a booth bungalow or something. And my father was nowhere to be seen. So, but what I saw is, there is a person standing in black costume, in all black clothes, and he was laughing a lot. And then my camera pans to this side where a small monkey is standing. Okay, in front of that person, and that person is laughing a lot. He is looking like a very like Hitler or somebody, who is doing kind of atyachar on people and all. Some vibes I'm getting like that from that person. So that person is laughing out and saying, you are just a small monkey, what can you do to me? And in that dream, that small monkey I saw transforming into like 100 feet of Hanumanji, saying Jai Shri Ram. And I saw that transition from my eyes, that he's growing to 100 feet tall Hanumanji, and the frame freezes there.
Wow.
And I called my husband. I told him we are going to get engaged on that day of Dussehra.
Oh, wow.
And that year, that Dussehra fell on that date, and I said that it is going to fall in this month, so we are going to get engaged on that day, and it happened. we got engaged on Dussehra that year.
Right.
So this is how my dream started, kind of guiding me, now in good way. But I still was haunted by this lady. Out of nowhere, somewhere I get this dream. Maybe because psychologically I was in that frame. I don't know why. Maybe psychological, or because Sadhguru says one thing, that mostly it is psychological. But if in 10% cases, if somebody does something it to you, that is also like only few things they do. Rest is all you make up in your mind. I don't know how much it is true with me, how much it was done, how much I made up, but this is a scenario. But these things did not leave me even after my marriage. I told everything about my experience to my husband and everything, because there was no way of keeping such things from him. So I told him that I'm scared and these are the things that happened with me. So I remember after my wedding, what happened is, once, because my husband used to stay in Bangalore and I used to stay in Gwalior, and I was completing my studies. So because his hometown is in Indore, he came for Indore for a few days, and so he called me, you also come, we'll meet in Indore. So I said, okay, I'll come. So I went there for like few days, 2-3 days, and I then came back, and he went back to Bangalore. So that time I got malaria, jaundice and everything I got, and I got hospitalized. Because, I was already mentally drained because of all these experiences. Now again, something is trying to drain me physically also. Now I remember I got hospitalized, and I am in that room in which I was, of that room of the hospital, and my husband also came. I'll come. So he came, and he was sitting on another single bed in that room next to me at a distance, and I am sleeping on this bed. It's night time, all the lights, then again that airy vibes. Something is I'm about to tell. So what happened is, I'm not able to sleep somehow. I don't know why. I did not know why I was not able to sleep. And I'm just twisting and turning. So somehow I thought, okay, and that IV is going on. I have that drip going on. So just lying there, and I thought, okay, I'll just close my eyes and I'll rest. And he is sleeping like, how men sleep. We all know how men sleep.
I don't know. How will I know?
So this is like comedy in some horror thing. We are putting comedy in the scene. Okay, so he's sleeping and like this open mouth, and I was like, I'm here. Why I know I'm telling you this? Because I'm here. IV is going on and I'm sick, and my husband is sleeping very carelessly. He's sleeping, maybe because he's tired, man. He did a journey from Bangalore to some place, because that time we did not have a direct flight for Gwalior. So he somehow came, and now he's sleeping and snoring and everything. So I closed my eyes and I put that sheet on, white color sheet. What I saw in those fraction of seconds when I closed my eyes and was opening my eyes, in that few seconds, what I saw was, there is nobody here, and my sheet is going up. Somebody is removing my sheet. And as soon as my mind could register it, some force just put their hand like across my throat, inside my soul, and trying to snatch my soul away from my body. And it blocked my voice. I am trying to shout, but no voice is coming out of my mouth. And I'm like, I was just freezed, and that was a very, very, very horrific scene, very scary. Something was trying to take away my life. That much I could say. But thankfully, we have a. You look scared.
Yeah, I am someone who avoids scary movies. I don't even see. I don't even listen. I'm like the Ranveer Alabama show. He likes all this scary stuff.
Thankfully, there was a Hanumanji poster.
I'm going to sleep with my mom today.
So there was a Hanumanji's poster next to the wall there. I just looked at it somehow, and that energy just left and went. And then I was able to shout, and I shouted and said, "Something is happening. Something." I said, "Utho, utho, utho." I just said like this, and I don't know how he got up, and
Okay.
it is not normal for him to get up just by saying utho utho or get up
Okay.
because we have to literally shake him to get him up.
Okay.
And then he came to me and said, what happened? What happened? And I could not say anything. I was just shaking and trembling.
Okay.
Next day, I told my parents this thing happened with me here. I don't know. So the doctor said, we are hearing something like this for the first time. Nothing like this happened in our hospital. Don't get scared, this and that. But somehow I just want to go home. I don't want to stay here anymore. So this was my condition. And so somehow now my studies got over and I went to Bangalore with my husband. Now I remember that since we started living together, I did not know anything about married life or what life is like after marriage. And so this phase of my life, when I got married, for 7 years I was under a kind of depression, anxiety, stress, whatever you want to call it, because life after marriage changed a lot. I would say the people around me were not that cooperative, and they, why this happens is because nobody teaches the family also how to treat a person that you're bringing in from another family. She's also a person. She's not a thing. Okay, and you cannot have different rules for different. Suppose there is one daughter and one daughter-in-law in the family, and there are strict rules for daughter-in-law, but not same rules apply to the daughters. What are there for daughter-in-laws? It became so difficult for me. I felt my freedom is getting snatched away. I was not able to feel free, more constricted than how I used to feel at my home, because my father was also very conservative, but he never put a stop on my hobbies. Like I like to dance, so I dance in each and every function that I went to, whether it is of my relative or anybody else. So everybody in my colony, my relatives, everybody knew that she's a fabulous dancer. So any function is incomplete without her dancing in that, without her giving a dance performance. So now I'm not allowed to dance, and this is something I felt my freedom is getting snatched away. And so things started worsening, and it reached a point where I could not take it anymore. So, because we were staying in a different city, but somehow I was controlled in that place also, whether I was staying with them or not, but I was controlled in a very strict way about what I should do and what I shouldn't do. So that was a very difficult phase of my life. I mean, I was already going through all these things, these supernatural black things, and now this, I needed a support and a pampering and a security, but I was not getting that except from my husband, and he also did not have any idea what is happening with me. So obviously, but he supported me a lot throughout my journey till this point. He's a very supportive husband, very, very supportive. So but now things are not like that. After I started doing meditation and I went on this path of being an Isha meditator, things changed magically, and now it is very, very favorable for me. Everybody is very favorable to me. If you look at them, you will not even say these are those people who have mentally tortured me this much, to an extent that I felt like I'll do suicide. There is no point of living beyond this. I was this distressed and depressive. And also, since I was a very obedient child, I never said no to my parents. Whatever they decided for my life, I just accepted it. So I was like Queen Kangana Ranaut in the Queen movie. Isne jo bola, maine wo kiya. So I was like that. I was always Hanji ji. Okay, thank you.
You have to say that dialogue properly, like you said in the Hindi podcast.
Yeah, so it was like, मैंने मम्मी ने ये बोला ये किया, पापा ने ये बोला वो किया, जिसने जो बोला मैंने वो किया. I was like that. इतना टाइम खराब हो गया है मेरा, like that. I was like so, but there was a hope I'll get that freedom how she got in the movie. So that's what I got after a period of time. But there were a lot of sufferings. Trying to get freedom for a female especially is very difficult. The kind of freedom she assumes that she wants is far below the standard of the people how especially the people who were around me, how they wanted to see me, I was not up to that mark. So they were also kind of very, unhappy with how I was asking for freedom, and I was not getting it, and the irony is I had to ask people, give me my freedom. That was the situation. So it was a very hard time, but my husband stood by my side. The other thing one more thing that I was struggling with is I was not able to understand this concept of transaction. You do a job for somebody and then you get some monetary things in return. This concept I was not able to understand. Why is it like this that we have to do, two-way transaction always? You do something, then you get in return something. What is this? So I did some jobs and all during that time when I stayed with my husband, but I did not like it. What I liked is working in theater, doing monologues, and I remember I did one commercial for asthma inhalers for my one of my director friend when we were in Pune.
Is it there on YouTube or somewhere?
No. And it's a very heavy file. So even if I want to show it to somebody, I don't know in which laptop it is. So it was a mime act, I remember, and I got that appreciation from the professors of her college also, that you did really well. Have you done some acting course or something? And I was like, I was over cloud nine. Okay, these people are liking my performances. I think this is something that I can try my luck into. But then again, I was stopped because this is not something good daughter-in-laws do, this, that, all that. So I stopped that. I was such an obedient girl. Whatever they said no to, whether it was my life, I stopped doing that. So, but still, inside, I was feeling choked that, I'm not able to express myself. I'm not living my life freely, this and that. This job thing happened. Now, what happened? I enrolled for PhD entrance exam. So just after my MBA was finished, I saw everybody in my classes applying for that entrance exam, preparing. So I had 2 months. That time we were in Bangalore only. So I decided I'll write this exam. So I applied and gave that exam. And then we decided, okay, let's explore the areas around Bangalore, because we could not go to a honeymoon because I got married very early, in my 20s only, but very early. So we were not able to go somewhere because our relatives thought if we'll go somewhere, we used to look like kids. And my family used to say, my relatives used to say, kya karte ho yaar? What did you do? You did baal vivah kya? Iska? You married? Because I did not use, and also I was not.
Now you have to send me a picture of your marriage.
Definitely. And I used to look like a kid only. Okay. And he also used to look like a kid because he was also young. So they were scared if we'll go and on honeymoon to somewhere and other, people can easily do scams with us or something. And so they were also scared, and we did not know anything about what marriage is, what honeymoon is, what this. So we thought we'll explore the nearby areas first around the Bangalore city. So I remember I went to a place, I can't name that place. So it is a place where they have pyramid-shaped structures in which people meditate.
Oh.
Yeah. We were just exploring. We did not know anything. That time also, I don't think that time we have Google Map or something. But somehow we figured out that there is a place like that. And I thought, okay, let's explore now. Let's explore. I told my husband, let's explore what is meditation, this and that. I did not have any taste of it before that. But I was interested in these things. So we went to that place. So when we were entering that place, I remember the caretaker of that place, he was looking like a sadhu and all, with long beard and white beard and white costume, like traditional clothes and all. So he said, she cannot go. You can go, but she cannot go. Kids are not allowed. And I won't know. And I showed him my Mangal Sutra. See, I am married. I am not a kid. I am a married girl. And I am not a minor. And then he was convinced. He said, okay, you are allowed. So it was a place full of people meditating on the floor. And I decided, let's go up. There were spiral stairs to go up where there is a point where, a top point at the pyramid. So people used to meditate there also. So I told my husband, let's go to that point. Let's go up and meditate. Let's see what happens. I was very curious about what is up there, that people go up there also. And they were not allowing everybody. So I thought, let's go. So I went up, I sat, and I did not know anything about meditation. So I just closed my eyes and did this. Because we have seen that in movies.
Yeah.
In those programs and all, Mahabharata, Ramayana. So I sat like that. And as soon as I sat and closed my eyes, I felt like I'm flying. As if my body lifted up from the ground. I said, oh my God, what is happening? I just opened my eyes so that I can grab something to hold myself from, flying away and going somewhere and falling from that place. And when I opened my eyes in those 2-3 seconds, what I saw is, I saw myself going back to my body. So till that point, I did not know what is an out of the body experience. So that was a point, how it was like my eyes are here. And I saw my eyes, I'm seeing coming back. My body is there only, but somehow I saw myself coming back to that body. And I got scared for what happened. So we just came running back, running down, came down, and then we ate and then did some photo shoot and all, and then we went back.
This is not a Hindi podcast.
Yeah, this was because, after that I recall these incidents. There are a lot of such incidents.
Right.
A lot of incidents. So now this happened. Now we thought, okay, next where to go? So we thought, okay, let's go to, there is a temple called Chamundeshwari temple. When you cross Mysore, which is on Chamundi hills. We did not know anything about Sadhguru by then. So I said, okay, let's go. So we went there. What I saw was a big Nandi statue there. And I was so mesmerized that I told my husband, let's go upstairs and see. I want to go. I don't know, some wives were there which were telling me to climb the stairs. And while we were climbing the stairs, as I told you in the Hindi podcast also, people were going down to a rock looking in a particular direction. So I asked my husband, what is happening? Do you know what is it? Because you stayed in Bangalore. Do you know anything about this thing and all? And I said, ask people, what is this? So he asked somebody, what is here? Why people are going down and this and that? So he said, a guru got enlightened here. And now he doesn't stay here. He used to stay here in Bangalore or Mysore. Something he said, I don't remember because I was not interested at that point of time what he was saying. So he said something like this and he went away, and I looked at my husband, he looked at me, and we started laughing. What is he saying? Do these things happen in today's time? Guru getting enlightened? What is he saying? All this is just made up.
Must have been a Isha Meditator. Namaskaram, Akka.
Definitely.
Yes, a flyer. Please come for us.
But so we went up and then we did Chamundeshwari Devi darshan, and then we came back. That visit to Chamundi Hills changed my life. From that day, my life got changed, but gradually it changed. How it changed is, soon after that we shifted to Pune. After this visit to Chamundi Hills, we shifted to Pune. I got to know that I got selected in that entrance exam for PhD, which I applied for in my first attempt. It was an all India level exam. So my family were like going gaga, oh, you got selected, now you have a doctor before your name and you will be Dr. Neha, this and that and all. And suddenly I felt like I don't want to do PhD. And I told my family and everybody, till that point of time, the way my life was going was all set. She'll do PhD and then she'll become a lecturer and then her life is set, this and that. But I told, no, I don't want to do PhD. I don't know why I told this, because I prepared for it. I gave the exam. I was willing to do that. But suddenly I'm not that willing. And I said, I don't want to do PhD. I don't want to study further. That's it. Whether I was a topper or whatever it is, I don't want to study further. And my family was, what? Why is she disobeying? And that point of time, for the first time in my life, I tasted freedom. how it is like to take your own decisions. And from that day onwards, I decided whatever is going to happen, let it happen. I'm going to make my own life decisions. So we decided, okay, I don't want to go for PhD. And my husband was like, whatever you want to do, you do. But do something. Don't just stay at home or just doing nothing. Do something. Not staying at home doesn't mean that don't just cook or don't just take care. No. He meant you involve yourself into something. Whether it is cooking, whether it is something else, but you do something. Don't just stay idle. Don't waste your time doing nothing. So I thought I have this intuition that I can see what what can happen with me, and what another frequency started even more of these dreams where I can see about myself also, and sometimes people around me also. So I thought, let's go and learn astrology. So I enrolled for astrology certification course. I did astrology, then I did Vaasthu, because I found these things very interesting. And sometimes it used to happen that a client, I started counseling also. So before the person is coming with his problems, I saw what is there with him in my dream, and how I used to see, because I don't know what is who is his mother, who is his daughter. So in my dreams, I used to play that character, that person.
Okay.
And from his eyes, I used to see everything. Suppose I am seeing that somebody's mother is not well. So what I will see in my dream is, I am a person and my mother is not well.
Okay.
So that is how the dreams used to give me signals. So I started doing astrology. Then I thought, okay, let's do Vaasthu also. So I started doing Vaasthu and Vaasthu consultation also. Then I got interested in Graphology. Graphology is an art of making predictions on the basis of your handwriting. So I thought, let's do this also. So I started doing learning that also. So I used to do all these things, and then what happened is things in my personal life was getting bad, much worse. So my husband also kind of became depressive, because he did not know what to do, because he was obviously a boy. It's like, really, what do you say, he's stuck between two parties.
Right.
Whether to go with this one or that one. I have to support this also. I can't go against these people also, because he is also a very good son, and he's a very good husband, very good father, and a very good son, touch wood. So he could not help actually much, but he was there to support me. So after doing all these things, from somewhere Sadhguru's pamphlets and this and that used to come, and I used to, somehow he was there, his grace was there, but I did not realize that until later. So I started watching his videos. I watched one video, then I watched second video, then I started liking it. So meanwhile, we shifted to Mumbai. In Mumbai, we decided we'll start our family. So I conceived when we were in Mumbai, and during that time also I used to watch Sadhguru's video and all. And my daughter was born in Mumbai. And after my daughter was born, we again shifted to our Pune house, and then we stayed there for a few months, and then we shifted to Trivandrum. Now this is again a turning point for us. We used to stay in I don't know how to pronounce it, because that is also a big thing, that accent doesn't come. Kayakuttam.
Karakutam. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a bit hard.
Yeah. So.
But you said it right now. Yeah.
Yeah, because I used to we have a house help there, and she did not understand Hindi, so she used to convey in Malayalam only, and somehow I used to check the phone and try to translate, and the conversation used to go like this. So somehow I got that accent. So there, what happened, because Kerala is such a green state, when I used to look from my balcony, there were so many trees that I used to feel so mesmerized, and I used to feel like home, because I always liked greenery and nature. So what I started doing is, I started sitting in my balcony and watching those swaying trees, and I used to feel very good about it. So I used to do that for hours and hours and hours. And I watched one of Sadhguru's video where he's saying, you should learn sitting straight. If your spine is straight, your perception becomes better. But by that time, I was irritated with one thing in my life particularly, that was my sense of hearing. It gets so, I don't know how to say. I became so sensitive with hearing that if I'm staying in Pune, we used to stay at 12th floor, and if somebody is walking on the ground floor, that sound of his walking with slippers used to irritate me.
See, oh, is
And
it?
yeah,
Okay.
that was the level of my hearing. I don't know how it got so exaggerated that I could hear small things. If I'm sitting here and my parents are sitting in next room, what they are talking, I can hear.
Oh, have
So
a
my
skill that a lot of people would want.
So my sister used to poke me, listen, what they are talking. Are they talking about us? Is mom complaining about me? So we used to do that also. So I got so irritated that at a point of time when my daughter was born, that I used to put those earplugs, that come for the thermocol kind of stuff.
Right.
I used to put them and sleep. Then only I was able to sleep. Otherwise, any sound is a noise for me. So, and now the condition is, even if somebody is, some bulldozer or something is something like that is happening, and am I doing my sadhana, I don't get bothered about it. This is the transition that happened after I started doing Shambhavi. So in Trivandrum, when we went to Trivandrum, life changed in a very big way, in the sense that I got to know that my husband told me that there are a lot of people in his office who are Isha meditators. So I was very mesmerized and very happy to listen to this, because for the first time I'm listening this, and in reality that people like Isha meditators exist where I am staying. So I was very happy, and he used to say there is one particular person, he does Shambhavi mahamudra, and he's so cool and calm. I don't understand how he's so cool and calm. He never ever raises his voice. I was like, okay, something like this also is possible, because I was a very furious person. And if I remember once what happened, my husband came late at home, and I was very pissed off with this thing, that he used to come so late, and when he's coming home also, then he's doing something on the laptop, this and that. So I threw his laptop on the ground, and there was a crack on the tile. And I remember throwing teacups on the ground, and the tea used to spill, and then he was cleaning and everything, and because I was so frustrated and irritated in my life, and I stopped dancing and everything. The physical activity was not there, and I want to tell this to the listeners and viewers: when there is no physical activity, now is the time you start draining yourself mentally.
Parvati.
That is where you start having stress, anxiety, and everything. That is why children don't have that, because they are physically active. So they don't know what is stress, what is anxiety. When you are not physically active and you're just sitting in one place, then your mind starts suffering. You start suffering mentally. So I was suffering mentally in those times. So I did these things also, but I used to feel very bad about it. Now I can't even think of doing that. If first to scold somebody is also a big thing for me. I have to gather a lot of courage to do that. So then I thought, yaar, Sadhguru is there, and he's initiating people. These things are happening. When will he come in my life the way they are coming in everybody else's life? Isha meditators. For me, Isha meditators were like people from some different planet, from some different dimension. So, and also you were there, because obviously I saw your videos. So you are truly an inspiration for me to start this journey of content creation, Anna. And I thank you a lot for this, because a lot of people are getting inspired from you, and they are now free to talk about it. They feel they can talk about these topics on YouTube and social media. So I thank you a lot for that. You are my inspiration.
Thank you so much. Means a lot to me.
So now I'm in some way prepared to welcome Sadhguru in my life. So I said, okay, we'll see. But I was waiting for that dream to come first, because I knew if he is going to come in my life, enter my life, he will give me a dream first. So after a few days, because I was prepared, now I'm prepared, I saw a dream in which I saw Sadhguru putting his thumb here you know, and some light coming in from that part of my forehead. And I thought, this is the time. He has entered my life, and he says that I have initiated more people who I haven't seen than the people I have seen or met. So I don't know why I thought this is the time. So I started doing Isha Kriya. I got up next day in the morning, 5 o'clock or something. Sun was rising, and I remember that was such a beautiful scene, because by then I was like a person who used to get up at 9 o'clock in the morning. And that day I got up early and did my Isha Kriya. And when I sat for Isha Kriya for the first time, I literally felt something was unlocking from the base of my spine. Something spiral or unlocked and went up. After that, there was no sensation, but at the base of the spine, there was a sensation. So I started doing Isha Kriya regularly. For 3 months, I did Isha Kriya. And in those 3 months, all the problems that I had with my in-laws suddenly magically stopped. And they agreed on whatever I want to do, I can do. So I thought, if Isha Kriya can do this thing, what if I go for further programs, advanced programs? But I had a small kid. I had a baby. My daughter was like 1 year only. I could not leave her. Now what to do? So I waited. And now what happened after like 8 or 9 months, we shifted from Trivandrum to Hyderabad now. So now we were in Hyderabad, and I was watching videos and doing Isha Kriya and doing other stuff also, which was there on YouTube. Like there are Chitta Shakti meditation and all. Shambhavi mudra is there. So I used to do all these things, and I used to find real peace in those meditative sessions. And so what happened in 2020, we decided to go on an international trip. So we went to Dubai with my family, my in-laws. That was my first international trip, and I thought I should take my in-laws also with me. So because things changed, everything is very good. I mean, they were all supportive. They were very good. They accepted me the way I was. And so we all had a very nice vacation. And then when we came back, we saw there was a very strict checking going on, for especially for Chinese passengers. So that time Corona did not hit India. 2020 December, 2020 February it is about. So we thought, okay, it was such a restriction that even if you had traveled to China once in like a few weeks time before that that particular date, they are not letting you also go. They are just putting all those people in one room, and they were going through certain scans and all. And also they were like very vigorous checking and all. China, no Chinese, no China travel, nothing. So we came back and we understood this thing, that this virus will be coming to India soon. So we decided we are not going to go anywhere. We were unpacking, and we thought, okay, we'll not go anywhere. My in-laws will go back to their hometown, and then we are done. We are not going anywhere for at least for a few months. Suddenly one day I was sleeping. It was a daytime dream. So I was sleeping, and I got a dream in which I saw Sadhguru saying, "You come now." And I just got up and I just told this dream to no. So in that dream, I said, "Okay, Sadhguru," and I touched Sadhguru's feet. And I got up and I told my husband that this is the dream I got. Now he knows what to do, because first thing, he is a husband, I am a wife. He has to do. He is in no way going to fight with me on this topic. Second thing, he knew that I get dreams. So if I am having a dream, I'm getting a dream, there is a meaning to it. So he booked the tickets. We went to Coimbatore. That time it was Samyama going on. It is about March 2020. Samyama was first week of March. So Samyama was going on, and the cottages were full. We did not know anything about ashram, and we did not know that we have to book cottages much prior, because there are so many people who want to go and have the accommodation. So we stayed in a hotel in the main city, and we used to travel. Like we went there for 3 days, and we used to travel every day back and forth. So it used to take 3 hours. For me, it was a little difficult because I had a small kid with me. So first day I went to the ashram, I was so mesmerized with the vibes that I got there and the scenery and everything. And also one more thing why I wanted to go to ashram is I read an article in which they said that if somebody has done something like this to you, a black magic or something, or if you feel something like is there, um, when you enter Dhyanlinga temple, there is a Vanashri shrine and Patanjali statue. They are situated at 15-degree angle. And so, if you have something like that, and if you enter that space, all these things are gone. All these influences are gone. And if you sit in Dhyanlinga, then there is no point of these influences being with you. So that was also the reason I wanted to visit Isha Ashram Coimbatore. So we went first day. Sadhguru did not. I did not get to see
Darshan
Sadhguru.
nahi diya, darshan nahi diya.
Yeah, darshan hi nahi diya. I thought he called me, and now I'm not able to see him. Okay, chalo, it's just first day. So we went back. Next day again we came. Full day we were there. No darshan. So I was so desperate to see him. I don't know why. I was like, it is a matter of life or death for me. I was so longing to see him that I just prayed that in my life I just want to see him once. My guru is my guru. I want to see my guru once in my life. In some way, in those years when I grew up, I got married, I was searching for a guru, but I did not know what a guru is. But I was searching for a guru. I don't know why and how it came to my mind. It occurred to me that I want a guru. I need a guru. So second day also he did not give darshan, but I saw a poster when you enter beside Nandi, when you enter the Dhyanlinga premises, when you go and from the left you go and there is Devi and temple, and then you go to the Dhyanlinga. There I saw a board in which it is written when Sadhguru is in the ashram, he gives darshan around 6:20 in the evening. So I was around that time I was in the ashram, so I was asking people desperately, is he going to come? Is he going to come? Is he going to come? But they are not supposed to tell the whereabouts of Sadhguru because it's a matter of security and everything. So one ma saw that burning desire in my eyes, so she came to me and she said, I don't think he's going to come. Not very clearly, but indirectly she said that he's not going to come. So I went back thinking, okay, one more day passed. Now we have just one day. Why is he not coming? He said he will. I mean, he called me, no? So he should come.
You come now.
Yeah. So he called me, you come now. Then why is he not coming? So I remember this is the third day, and we had a flight at I think 5 or 6 o'clock. So we had to leave the ashram around 2:30. So it is the third day, last day, and as you know, in the ashram when we enter, there is a barricading to separate left and right side. So that time all the shops were on the right side. So I was standing there with my daughter on the right side in front of a shop which was closed. That was a sari shop, I remember. It was closed, so we were just standing in the shade of that shop because it was very sunny. And so because we had a small kid, so we were not, because small kids were not allowed to enter because obviously it's disturbing for the meditators and all. So we used to go and do the darshan one by one. So my chance was over, so I came out and I was standing with my daughter there in the shade of that shop, and my husband was inside having darshan. So I was standing there thinking, okay, these are the last few minutes of our visit to the ashram. So last 10 minutes I would say. Now I am standing there with my kid. She's half sleepy. She was just 2 years, and suddenly I saw dead. That sound I saw. That sound I hear. So I look and I saw Sadhguru coming on his bike very slowly, and he was looking. He was wearing those glasses, but I could make out that he was kind of observing or maybe reading my aura. I don't know what, but he was going very slowly, and he just went past where I was standing and went outside the ashram. And I was so happy, and he saw that I was jumping with joy, and I was showing my 2-year-old kid who doesn't even know what is happening with my mom and why she's so happy seeing Sadhguru. And I was telling her, see Sadhguru, and I became like a kid in those moments. And then he went outside the ashram, and after some time I saw that two brahmacharis on a scooty, they came rushing and with no idea why Sadhguru making this trip outside the ashram. I mean, the picture was like that. It was clear that the brahmacharis did not know that, and Sadhguru did not tell about this to anybody, that he is going on his bike outside. So when he went outside, I saw people kneeling down and bowing down. So I thought, oh shit, man, he was in front of me and I did not even do pranam or namaskaram to him. I'm so dumb, and I started feeling such guilty. And I thought, okay, once in a lifetime opportunity, I missed that thing. Now what? Now what? And after like 3-4 minutes, he came back. There is a barricading, but still he came back again on that side only where I was standing. On the right side only. He came inside the ashram, and I saw him, and I said namaskaram, and he smiled and he nodded and accepted my namaskaram, and then he went inside. And when he was entering the ashram again, that inside corridor kind of stuff, I thought, did he come for me? And I started crying. Thinking, oh my God, finally my guru gave me darshan. That is such a big thing for me. People are dying to see him and he came for me. Is my longing this big? I was asking myself, was I longing this much to see him that he came rushing to give me darshan and then went back just doing this? I mean, is he so generous for his devotees or for his disciples? And then we went back, and then I came back. I registered for inner engineering online, because that time they stopped doing physical courses. So I registered for inner engineering online. I did my course, and when I was doing that course, the lockdown was there. I remember it was around 15th of March that they started the first lockdown. Now I had to wait for 1 year to get initiated into Shambhavi, because that time there was no initiation online. So I had to wait, and when I came to know that they are starting the online initiation, I registered for the first batch itself. And that batch was supposed to, I think it was for 3 days or something, and it was supposed to happen in early morning. And I was like, okay, I'll get up, whatever it is, I will just get up. And I registered for it, and I got initiated in the first batch, which was on the initiation. First online initiation happened on 10th January 2021. And I got initiated in that batch, and my life changed from that time period onward. Also, I want to share 2 more dreams here. So the first dream is when I came back from ashram. I saw this dream where, I don't know why I saw this dream. I am looking up in sky with my hands in this, like held together, and I am asking Shiva, I came to meet you, but now are you with me? I mean, in some way, are you with me? Something like that I asked. And I saw very big Shiva, live. And he was telling me in Hindi that मैं आ तो गया हूँ तेरे साथ. And then he went. I saw him, very clouds going on, and I was looking like this, like how the 100 feet tall Hanumanji I saw in my dream.
Right.
That big Shiva I saw, and he was telling me, I came with you. And then he went. So we brought one Adi Yogi with us, by the way, in that visit to the ashram, and I kept that in my mandir, Hope Temple. So, and one more peculiar dream I had before I got initiated is that in dream I saw that I am getting up and I am going towards my balcony, and in my balcony there is a rose bed in front of my balcony, a full farm of roses. And when we pan up a camera like that, when I am looking up, I saw Adi Yogi statue there in front of me, and I am telling to myself, now he is so much accessible to me. Now I can access him sitting at my home. And then the next news I got is that they are starting an online initiation. So I registered for that batch. And so my initiation happened. Initiation was a very big change for me in terms of, on the first day of initiation itself, I felt a very big change in terms of, I was feeling so calm I have never felt in my life. That's what initiation did to me. And from that day onwards till this date, I have never ever missed my sadhana. Whatever the situation is, whether somebody is getting born or somebody is dying or I am not well or whatever the thing is, I made sure I do my sadhana every day. This is a commitment I made to myself because I knew, I heard this in Sadhguru's video, what a guru goes through to initiate people. He has to risk his own life to initiate people. So I promised myself this, that I will keep on doing my sadhana no matter what. If I am alive, I will do my sadhana. So I have continued my sadhana till now. In 3 months of practicing Shambhavi Mahamudra, I saw a peculiar change in my physical appearance. Is that I have inherited a physical feature from my father, which is the second toe of my right foot. The nail of that toe, the nail is not well formed, and it is ditto how it is in my father's right foot. So, and I used to get very I was not happy with the formation of that nail because I used to think that this is spoiling my nail polish look. When I apply nail polish, it doesn't look good. So why I'm telling you is because I have an eye on this, that this thing is not good, and I know that this is something that I don't like. So I thought sometimes that maybe I'll put a false nail on it and this and that. I used to think about it. So what happened one day after 3 months of practicing Shambhavi Mahamudra, I suddenly one day I was sitting in the Siddhasana and I looked at that nail and I saw that the formation of that nail changed. And I was surprised to see it is such a small feature. But to change the appearance of a physical feature, you have to have something changed in your DNA or heredity,
right,
to get it changed.
Yeah, true.
And I was surprised to see that. For me, it was a very big thing, very big change that happened, because again, it is something heredity. We get it from our parents. It's a lineage that passes on from generation to generation, some peculiar physical feature, and now it has changed. And I was happy also, and I told my family and friends, everybody, that this thing happened, but they were like, how they are still in that phase when I was, when I went to Chamundi Hills.
Right.
So, it's okay, ho gaya. They were not able to accept this, and even I don't have any proof to prove this, because I don't have any previous pictures. Or if had I known that this thing will happen, I would have saved one hair or some nail or something to, go for a DNA test and give my contribution of Shambhavi experiments and all that. But this is the thing, and a lot of things changed. I started getting up early in the morning. I started having cold water shower. My food quota came down. My sleep quota came down. My determination grew more strong. Lot of things changed. And if I look back to that person that I was 2 years back, I will not be able to recognize that person now. This was the amount of change, but there were struggles also while you do your sadhana. There were struggles in the sense I was, I had this habit of eating 4 times a day because I was also a mother. So 4 times a day, and now I have to eat 2 times a day, because when you are in your mandala, you have to do your practice 2 times a day. Now you have to have 4 hours of gap between 2 meals. It became a challenge for me because I used to eat in the morning 10 to 11, and now I have to do my sadhana around 5 or something. By the time it's time for me to do my second set of sadhana, my hands started shivering, my body started shivering, because I have not eaten, and psychologically I'm thinking I am starving myself, and this is what happens with people. They think they are starving themselves. That's not the case. It's okay. If you will not eat for one day also, you will not be dead. Don't worry. So eventually my body got habitual of it, and now I can say that I eat just 2 times a day. One brunch around between 10 to 11, and once in the 7 or 7:30, around that time I eat. These are my 2 meals, and I eat very good meal. I don't compromise with the portion that I am eating. I eat really well. Still my mother thinks I am not eating well. She thinks, okay, तो क्या कर रही है, मर जाएगी, खाती नहीं है, पीती नहीं है. Like this she is, and she's. I have still one more struggle with me, that I'm not able to convince people what I am doing is worthy.
Right.
In the sense, I don't want them to feel that what I'm doing is worthy. They are thinking I'm not doing justice to myself doing this.
Right.
So they are like,
They all feel that we are wasting our time, huh? They all feel like there's something more we can do.
Yeah, you're talented. Why are you wasting your time? ये कोई उम्र है बाबाओं के चक्कर में पढ़ने की? That is what I hear. ये बाबा के चक्कर में मत पढ़ो ऐसा. And my mother thinks somebody has hypnotized me to do these things. She still thinks like that. She is a mother. She doesn't understand. So for her child, she's concerned. So these are the things. And with me, one of my weaknesses, I can't take sarcasm. If somebody is coming to my face and telling like that Komolika, that those vampires in
there's a music for Komolika, right? Lika, something like that.
Something like that. So when such people come to me,
which was it?
It was Kasauti Zindagi Ki.
Kasauti Zindagi Ki, yeah.
So these people, when people do these things to me, I really get pissed off. I'm a very sensitive person, so it really hurts me when somebody would tana marna and all in front of me, like this and that, doing with this expression and saying something. It really hurts me. Somehow I'm not that sensitive to these things now, but still this is my weakness. I'm telling people on YouTube, and we have a comment section also. So this is the thing with me.
Comment, guys. Comment, guys.
So this has all happened. A lot of things happened. So one more scary incident I want to share.
Oh no!
This is not that scary, and it's not about me. So you can chill. You can be relaxed a little bit. So one more thing. After I came back to ashram, I am assured that now these things are not going to happen with me.
Right.
Okay. So before that scary thing, I would like to tell viewers and listeners one more thing that happened with me during that period of time when I started doing a lot of Devi Bhakti and Durga Saptashati, and I was also doing Monday fasting every Monday without eating anything. And I used to see these dreams in which I am sitting in front of a Lord Shiva statue, a very big statue, but it was a white statue. And I am crying and telling him, please take me with you, take me into you, absorb me. In Hindi, I am saying, mujhe khud mein le lo, please, mujhe khud mein le lo. I'm crying. I don't know why I used to get those dreams also. So after I started doing this bhakti yoga, one more thing started happening with me is I started seeing other people's astral bodies.
Right.
Astral bodies in the sense, I don't know if we call it astral body or not, but that's what I got after many incidents like that happened. That it's a body of a person, living person. And it is like a shadow, but a 3D shadow. Sometimes I saw some astral bodies with sparkling eyes. Sometimes there was nothing, just a 3D shadow. So when I saw it for the first time, it was my cousin sister, and it was night time, and I used to see these astral bodies in a particular condition. The condition was when you go from wakefulness to sleep towards sleep, or when you come out from sleep to wakefulness, there is a transition phase. In that transition phase, if I am also in that transition phase, and if the other person is also in that transition phase, I will see their astral bodies. So I remember first time I saw, it was my cousin sister, and I called her, and I came out of the room thinking it was her, and it went like this. Shoo.
Okay.
So I thought she was standing there. So I called her, asking, why are you standing here at the middle of the night? And I just went, I was dizzy, feeling dizzy because I was in that transition phase. And I got up because the curtains were making sound, and I became very sensitive towards hearing the sounds. So I thought I'll close these curtains and the door that they don't make any sound, and I can sleep peacefully. But when I was doing that, I saw some figure like her standing there, and I called her out, and she went like this.
Was this before initiation or after initiation you would see this?
No, all these things happened before initiation. After initiation, these things stopped happening. Seeing these astral bodies and all these things stopped happening. So I called out for her, and it went like this. And I freaked out. But I was sleepy at that time, so I just slept. And in the next day in the morning also, I did not recall this incident. But after when I recalled this incident, what just happened, and I started crying. I thought I
Okay.
saw some ghost, because till that point of time I had not seen anything physically. It was all
Right.
a scary thing in my dreams.
Right. Right.
So I got scared, and then this happened with, I saw the astral body of my husband also, and I got freaked out. I thought I saw one more ghost. Then we were doing a night out at my friend's place in Pune once. We all gathered and we were sleeping in his living room. We all sleeping, and I was in that transition. Maybe he was also in that transition. I saw his astral body looking down at me like this, and I freaked out and I got a fever that day.
Oi.
And I thought my whole energy was drained, because these things take up so much energy. If you are, see, I at that point of time, I had this thing, this whatever you call it, a quality, a power, or whatever it is. I did not have any idea about it, so it was scary for me. If you get any power or any intuition, or you are able to do something that other people are not able to do, whether it is good or bad, you get scared, because
Right.
you have no idea, no control over it. And I just want to tell this to all the viewers and listeners. Suppose you see, or you get to know about somebody who is like this, or you become like this, that you get some power like this, that you are able to see somebody's future or something like that. This, don't think you are superhuman, okay? Because these things are very common with people who are on bhakti yoga, doing bhakti yoga, or who are on the path of spirituality. It is just a matter of whether they want to share it with people or not. Some people are mature enough, they don't want to share it with others, or they think it doesn't make any sense. Or, and also, if you're on spiritual path, don't go behind these experiences, just let them happen. uh, Drop it there itself, because it is just something that is happening in the way, on the way. Don't get distracted by these things. Your journey is for something else, so don't get distracted. I did not know this thing until unless I got initiated and everything. I got to know all these things. So when I got initiated and I heard what Sadhguru's views about astrology and all, I stopped doing astrological consultations and all, because I thought it's not good to tell somebody about his or her life. Rather, I started telling them, you start taking your destiny in your hand, start a guided practice and all. So I dropped that thing.
But at the end of the podcast, please DM Akka. We'll send our handwritings. अपने को तो चाहिए. अपने को 1 million followers मिलेगा कि नहीं?
So, and I remember somebody saw my
gold button चाहिए. We want.
So I remember somebody saw my horoscope and told me, you have something, you can become very popular, go and join politics. I said I will not do that. Whatever it is, I'm not interested in politics, and I don't do even see of politics. So maybe they did not know anything about content creation that time. Maybe, I'm not saying I'm like very popular this thing, but this is a platform.
Shankaran Pillai is popular.
Thank you for the people who liked Shankaran Pillai. So these things happen, and so don't think you're a superhuman. All these things happen. If you'll go to Isha meditators or any other meditators also who are into guided meditation, you'll ask them, they'll come up with so many stories like how my story is. So don't get distracted by these experiences. They are just things to pass on. So what also started happening with me after I got initiated is, I started having these experiences where because I till that point of time I had this longing, which I did not understand what it is for. I used to long for something and cry, but I could not understand what this longing is for, even after initiation. So one night I remember I was in my balcony crying and hiding it from my husband that I'm crying, because I could not tell her why I'm crying. He will definitely ask, why are you crying? But I could not tell why, because I did not know why I was crying. So I cried, and I sat on the chair and looked up and said, Sadhguru. And something started happening. My body started shaking back and forth, right, left, and I started crying more. And something was telling me to sit in Ardha Siddhasana. So I came inside and sat in Ardha Siddhasana, and I gestured my husband, you go and sleep, because something is happening and I don't know how long is it going to take. So I sat in Ardha Siddhasana. My body was moving, and I was crying and laughing and crying and laughing. All the emotions I thought which built up over a period of time, they all were coming out. and the energy is moving upward. Something was happening. So these incidents happened quite a number of times. Even when I read Mystics Musing, this thing happened. Mystics Musing, Sadhguru says that book works like a yantra. There are some parts in that book that works like a yantra. Maybe, I don't know, I was reading a particular portion and again felt like this and I sat. So these things happen. So I called Swami and I asked, these things are happening. The first thing he said is, these are experiences. Don't think much about them, let them happen. And one more thing is, you start doing some physical activity. Maybe some energy is stuck or something, I don't know why he said that, but he said you start doing some physical activities. So it happened, and after I read Mystic Musing, this thing happened. After that it did not happen, because I started doing physical activities, exercise, this and that. And I remember one day what happened, because during Corona, now this is a scary incident. So what happened, we have a maid, house help. During Corona, our society decided we will not take help from house help anymore, and we'll kind of not allow them in the society for a period of time. So like a month or so, or 2 months or something, they decided. Now me and my husband, we both used to manage everything at home, sweeping, washing dishes and everything, taking care of the kid. One day I saw in my dream that my maid rang the bell. I opened the door and I saw a lady standing behind her, which was around 6 feet or something. And I can't say, but that, I cannot be specific about it, but that lady was of some other religion. And she was standing behind my maid, and she rang the bell. I opened the door, but she was not coming in, because that lady was with her. And they both standing, and they both could see me, I could see them. After 15 days, my maid came. Now, I am sitting here, where I am sitting opposite to this place. I am sitting, and my door is there, main door, in my living room. So she came because we started letting them in again in the society. So I opened the door, and I looked at her. I said, "Come in." She was not coming in. And I said, "Come in. Don't worry, come in." Somehow she entered my living room and she came. I said, "You can start working from today." She felt very uneasy. And she said, "I can't start from today. I will start from tomorrow. And then she went back. Next day she came, and then she revealed to me that during these 2 months of time when she was not here, she was, they had a quarrel with their with her in-laws. So she, her husband, and 2 daughters, small daughters, they shifted to another place in a different part of the city. And that was a place where that lady, which I saw behind her in the dream, she did suicide.
Oh, okay.
And she told me a lot of incidents that in the middle of the night, she just got up and went to the jungle and came back as if somebody is calling her. Something happened, and from her story, I could understand that she was trying to say that she is possessed now. Okay. And I asked her, I told her about that lady and that dream that I saw 15 days back. And I said, "Is that lady, and this is the place where you are staying, is that lady of this religion? And are you talking about this kind of lady?" I described that lady, and she said yes. So she told me कि मुझे आने को नहीं हो रहा था आपके घर में. I was not able to enter your house. Maybe the energies are like, because we are meditators, we meditate and not, this is the kind of positive vibes we create when we meditate in a place. And we have Dhyan Linga photo, and we have Sadhguru's grace anyways. So she said, she explained all this, the whole story, and she said, "I was not able to enter your house. So I went back yesterday. Now somehow I was able to come today." So she started working. Now I know, and I am scared. Okay, this is the story I saw. That was a ghost standing behind her, and now she's coming, and she still has that influence. So I discussed with somebody from our Isha volunteers and all. So I got to know I should give a Devi photo and a Devi pendant. I ordered it from Isha Life and I gave it to her. Okay. And I told her, "You wear it and you do put diya in front of Devi photo every day and all. So when she was narrating this story, one day she narrated the story. Second day, she's in the kitchen. I'm in the kitchen. She was very kind of. She was not conscious of what she's doing. She's saying and doing and talking to herself only. She started talking to herself. She's sweeping and doing, and she was not even listening to what I am saying.
Right.
She was not what she used to be before that. So one day I remember she was we were both were standing in the kitchen. I was standing next to her. Somewhere I knew that she's not the one she used to be. And while saying, she was into herself and saying something, and she looked at me and I looked at her, and those eyes were not of hers.
Right.
And that look was not of hers.
हाँ.
और मेरी उस टाइम में मैं क्या बोलूं, मेरी तो फट
अरे
गई
वाह,
भगवान.
अरे listening to this मेरी तो फट गई. Oh my god.
And I looked at her, and the color of the eyes, the look, the gaze, everything was different, and I knew that at that point of time that it is not her.
Right.
But then she started doing it, and she also got some help and all. And I don't know why my husband told this thing about all this thing to my in-laws, and now they are like shouting, "You just get rid of that lady, just throw her out of the house, this and that." My parents and everybody, they were scared, but I was very determined. I will not let her go. This is a time when she needs help.
Right. True.
And I have gone through it, and I know how it is.
True.
So I said no, and she's very honest, and she's like, I can't just let her go because she's in an unimaginable situation and helpless situation. I can't let her go. So I just gave her Devi pendant, this thing, and after some time she's all fine. She also got some help and all, but now she's all fine. So she comes and work and everything. Everything is fine now. So this is one incident. And I don't know why, even I see dead people. I mean, the people, dead relatives of somebody, they have died and they are, stuck somewhere and they have some unfulfilled desires. I see them in my dreams. But I don't know. Now I have stopped, putting too much attention on my dreams, because until unless it's like very important to convey something only to my family or very close ones, I don't convey it even if I see about others, because I don't see any point in it. First thing. Also,
I think you have to take your kid. So either we can do it in 2 parts, Akka, or what time do you have to leave? I'm just checking with you.
It's 14:14. We can go 15 more minutes.
Okay.
And then. Okay, we can go for at least, I think, 3:15. Then I can go and pick her up. So, what happened? Where was I?
The lady, she gave her pendant, everything got sorted.
So one more thing used to happen with me. I could see some people. Now, apart from these dreams, one more thing started happening with me is I used to get visions. Now I'm getting visions also of what is happening around me. Somebody is going to die, I can see their death.
Okay.
I saw my father-in-law's death. He passed away last year. And you know what? Before he passed away, I want to share with you. He was so satisfied with me being his daughter-in-law, that when he was, in his last days, he said this, that we can't get a daughter-in-law like her. And he praised me over his own daughters. And my mother-in-law, after he passed away, we went to my husband's hometown. My mother-in-law told everybody that what he said before he went. So I'm happy, but still I'm struggling with finding comfort with these people who once I had a very ugly relationship. But still, now everything is very favorable, I must say. Everything has changed, and they have become very favorable, very supportive, very helpful, and very caring. Now, about these people who are about to die, how I know about them that they are going to die. I used to get very peculiar dreams about these people, and in these dreams, I used to see a very big snake
Huh.
of any color. sometimes black, sometimes blue. So I have a phobia for snakes because of these dreams also.
Right.
That these dream in those dreams, either these snakes are chasing this person, or this person, and I am able to see that snake. So in my father-in-law's case, what I saw is, we have an independent house in my husband's hometown. So he is, me and we are in the front yard, and at the top of our home, the topmost floor, there is a very big snake I am seeing. And I am telling my father-in-law, पापा जी देखो, मुझे तो डर लग रहा है, इस इतना बड़ा सांप है, मुझे डर लग रहा है इससे. पापा जी, look, such a big snake, I am getting scared of it. So we have a jhula swing in our front yard in a home. So he gets up and he saw and he says, what is to be scared about it? It is just there, with coiled up and sitting like this, very big.
Okay.
And then I started getting these visions that his dead body is lying in the front yard of our house. So I told my husband, I'm getting these visions, something is wrong, you take care of him. But I must say, he took his last breath here only with us in this house, and he was very satisfied that he's going like this. So that is how I used to see people, if they are dying, then, in this situation where they are about to die, I get these hints also. But then again, all these things, just don't care about these things, let them happen, let these experiences happen. You just focus on your sadhana. I am focusing on my sadhana, and I must say, if you're on a spiritual path, your guru will take care of all these things. You don't have to worry about it. He blocked that astral body wala experience. He has blocked completely. So after I got initiated, I never saw anything like that. And I'm happy, because I used to get scared, man. I'm not in a position to understand what was happening. Sometimes that astral body touches me also. And I'm like, I used to freak out. What is this? Somebody is doing this, tapping on my shoulder, and I turn back and I see this astral body, and then I'm getting up. And that dead person is also getting up. And I'm asking her, that person, what did you do? He said, what did I do? And the other person,
कौन सी नई पिक्चर रिलीज हुई है एस्ट्रल बॉडी?
So thankfully it got blocked, and so that's what I wanted to say. Don't go behind these experiences, let them happen. It's just a part of the journey. Don't get stuck and don't get distracted. Just focus on your sadhana.
Beautiful, Akka. I wanted to ask you about the second meeting with the Sadhguru for the influence meet, but I think we don't have time for that. Do we have time?
I think, yeah, we can go for half an hour, 30 minutes or something. Yeah, it's around 2:47. Yeah, we can go with that experience.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I was always put in a situation where I'm very close to Sadhguru. Every time I am volunteering for something, first of all, volunteering is a very big learning. When you volunteer, you learn a lot. You learn to be a mother of the world. The first thing is what I learned, and we all learn in inner engineering also. So, fortunately, I got this opportunity. I remember for the Save Soil mega event that happened in Hyderabad on 15th June. Sadhguru came to Hyderabad, and I was assigned the task of sitting in front of, the responsibility that they gave me is to interview all the celebrities that coming and all. So I got to just be very close to Sadhguru, and it was like I'm sitting here and he was sitting there on the chair, and I'm like watching him, and I used to get freezed when I used to see him, and I did not know what all happened, what he said, what other people said, what all happened. He went on the stage, there was Samantha and everything, but I could not figure out what was happening. I was freezed. I don't know why I freezed. I was only interested in Sadhguru's presence. And the hall was not how it was before Sadhguru entered. After Sadhguru entered, the place was something else. His wives were different. And then again, I remember they called me for SMI, the Social Media Influencers Retreat, volunteering. So I went there as a volunteer to help the influencers coming from Telangana and Andhra state. So I went there, I remember. It was a social media influencers retreat and divided into two parts. The first part was for the media channels, big media houses and media channels. And the second part was for influencers, social media influencers, content creators, from Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and stuff like that. So I went for this. They called me for volunteering for the second one. So I got a call from one Anna, who is point of contact here in Hyderabad. He told me you have to come for this volunteering. And by that time, I had already made plans to go for Yogeshwar Linga consecration. So I said I thought I will not be able to go, but I have this thing. I am not able to say no to anything. That is one more weakness that I have. I don't know how to say no. It takes a lot of courage for me to say no. I'm always yes. And especially after inner engineering, I've become much more yes, a bigger yes to life. Whatever life is throwing at me, good or bad, I'm yes to it always. So I thought I have said yes. Now what to do? I have to go to Yogeshwar Linga consecration. It will take 2-3 days. Now how to take care of my kid, because I have a kid and we are a nuclear family. Now what to do? And this is the first time I'll be going away from my kid for like 3-4 days. How will my husband manage this and that? So we thought I thought, okay, I'll not go. But suddenly it clicked me that it is a calling. It is a calling from Sadhguru. Though it is not a dream, but it is a calling. So I said yes. And I caught a very bad flu that time. And I was totally drained. And also I registered for Angamardana during that period of time. So I was practicing Angamardana, totally drained, doing Shambhavi also, because my determination is very strong. I don't leave things in between. So I had to complete my 40 days mandala of Angamardana also, and I am doing my Shambhavi also. And I used to take Hindi classes also that time, tuitions, Hindi tuitions, Sanskrit tuitions. So kids used to come to my flat and from our society only. And I'm doing content creation also. So I was completely drained. I was doing all these things. I was having high fever, and I have to go to social media influencers retreat also now. Somehow in between I thought I will not be able to do, but somehow I prayed, Sadhguru, if you've called me, just make me this much, stable that I can go there. So I recovered somehow, but I was very weak physically. But I went for the social media influencers retreat. So when their retreat was over for social media channels, when their retreat was over, I came to know that they got a picture. They clicked a picture in which all the media people were there and all the volunteers were sitting on the ground, and Sadhguru was there in that picture. So I thought, okay, maybe we will also get an opportunity to have this photo, which I can cherish all my life, keep close to my heart, because I'll be going so close to Sadhguru in his aura and his could absorb his vibes and all. So what happened in their case? What happened? We did the program in the Spanda hall. It is a big hall, and all the volunteers used to sit on the back side, and there is a very long, a long distance between Sadhguru and the volunteers. So I thought we'll be also doing the program this way. Okay, at least I will be able to see him somehow, this and that. But when our turn came for that session with Sadhguru, they decided to do it outside the Spanda hall. Okay, on the corridor, there are some raised platforms both the sides. So that side, Sadhguru's arrangement for Sadhguru sitting was made, and all the influencers were sitting that side, and volunteers were sitting that side. So there was a different vibe that day. I don't know how to explain it. The air was flowing very gently, and they made flower hangings and all. This was all looking very beautiful. That sight of the mountain, Velangiri mountain, and those flowing flower hangings, and then Sadhguru makes an entry, and then I was just sitting there looking at him. I was totally trying to absorb whatever is happening and all. And at the end, what happens is the session is over. Sadhguru gets up, and Sadhguru comes towards where we all volunteers were sitting. Somehow I got a place to sit in just the front row. Somebody blocked that place for me and told me, okay, I've blocked this, place for you, sit here. And I just sat there, and I was so happy because I was planning to see him from as close distance as possible. So I just sat there, and Sadhguru slowly start coming towards us. And where I was sitting, he just stood there for a while. And I looked at him, he looked at me. I had certain questions in my mind. I wanted some assurance for some things. And he communicated with his eyes, which other people also saw. he was communicating something. We saw he was communicating to you something, and he was assuring and things. Something was happening which I cannot tell much about it, but people also noticed. And when I bowed down, they clicked that picture. And next day I got to know from one Anna, Akka, your photo is there on their page where you are bowing down to, Sadhguru. And I was so surprised because last night only I was telling Anna ke I wanted a photo like how these people had, but we could not have that photo, as if Sadhguru intentionally stayed there and he wanted that frame to be captured. And then I saw that photo. I was very happy to see that photo because it's not for me to show to people that how I was so close to Sadhguru, and I got an opportunity. That was, for me, it was a close distance between a guru and a disciple. So for me it was a privilege. So I thought I'll always keep this picture close to my heart. That is how I saw him. And also one more time I have seen him. So it's like that. Whenever I am volunteering in a program where Sadhguru is there, I always get to be as close to him as possible. That's a privilege, I would say. When Sadhguru says that the era of Guru is coming to an end, that literally makes me feel very bad. So I would like to say this thing, that my whole life I always try to find satisfaction in what I am doing. That satisfaction was not there. There was a void and I did not know what to do. But now what I am doing, content creation and trying to spread Sadhguru's words, Sadhguru's wisdom, Sadhguru's knowledge to as many people as I can. I feel so satisfied that if I die today, I don't have any regrets with my life. This is the place where I am in my life right now. I have this much satisfaction. So I'm very privileged and very happy that a guru like Sadhguru came to my life to guide me, and he for me is something that I cannot express in words. So that is my journey so far. But I think people will be interested more in those scary stories.
I'm not. How am I going to edit this? I will listen to the podcast again.
Don't do that at night.
Oh my God, I'm not doing it. Early in the morning when sun rises only I'll do this.
Yeah, maybe some people will be like, Akka, you please stay away from us. We don't want to be close to you. I know by talking about this part of my life, which I have never done before, I'm inviting more questions and, different reactions from people. But I wanted to share this with people. Why? Because I want people to know that these things happen with people. Don't hide it. And if you are not comfortable sharing with it, just get some help. And if you are not getting help, just go and sit in Dhyan Lingam, man. All these things will be over.
I think it's very great, Akka, you shared, because these are things which are not accepted in society, but it's a very living reality for the person who is suffering.
Yes.
Right.
And I suffered literally, mentally, physically, in every way I suffered because of these things. Now I'm not scared. I can sleep alone. Everything is there. But still there is one corner, in my brain, which is still like, even I watch scary movies. I'm not scared that much now. But if I watch something or I listen to something like this, even for me, it is little difficult to sleep at night. And I put Brahmanand Swarupa chant on 1 hour version and then I sleep.
I just want to add, I've heard, I don't know which book I've read this. Maybe it's in the death book. Sadhguru talks about it. In a society where death rituals are not properly done, where death is not taken care of, especially the teenagers and adolescents suffer a lot.
Yes.
So what, I don't know what you have suffered. Is it that, or is it something the person gave? There are so many aspects. Many kids might be suffering there. And in a modern society where everything is intellectual, logical, they're not able to express, this is something happening to them. They might be given psychiatric medication when something else is happening to them.
Agree.
Yeah.
So I agree with this, because in my family I have seen, I think this is the reason, what you just mentioned. And yes, it is from death book. Sadhguru has mentioned these things in the death book. And I feel, yes, all the rituals for the dead people that we should do. We should not. If you want your next generation to be happy and not suffer like this, how I suffered, you should do that. definitely.
I think a simple solution also we can leave for the. I think wearing the Shanmugi Rudraksh, the 6 face Rudraksh, is a simple protection for the kids below 14 years, right? If I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about Rudraksh, but I don't know which Rudraksh it is. But yeah,
It's
in
the
that article I
6 faced.
saw.
6 faced, I am
continue.
sure. Because I recently made a video, guys. I'm just plugging in my content. Watch my Rudraksh.
So yeah, definitely. And yes, Sadhguru mentioned in that article that if you wear a Rudraksh or if you are doing your sadhana, all these things are taken care. But if you are not a meditator, you can just go to Dhyan Linga or wear a Rudraksh. That also provides protection.
So thank you so much, Akka. So any last words, and where can people contact you for more ghost stories?
I don't know. I mean, I feel someday they will call me to, and they're going to. I'm going to be famous like a ghost catcher or something. No, I would say the most important thing at the end that I should say is, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sadhguru Simplified. Follow me on Facebook, which is also Sadhguru Simplified, the channel's name. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, my handle is right there. Neha. So you will get to know about me more and the kind of work I am doing, the content that I am creating. One more thing is, why I started this is, as you can see, the name of the channel is Sadhguru Simplified. So I started this channel with just one objective, to simplify as much as I can and to put it across the people like me, all the wisdom that Sadhguru has and all the knowledge that he shared till now. So I just want to say, I'm not behind fame, money or anything. Whatever I'm earning, I also decided I'll just donate it to Isha. So I'm not doing this for money.
I also have UPI ID. You can.
So that is my motto. I'm just so satisfied with doing this one thing, that spreading Sadhguru's words as much as I can. That is the only thing that I'm here for, creating content.
Awesome, Akka. Thank you so much. So, guys, do leave in the comment section how you found the podcast, and yeah, definitely subscribe if you feel like. And
yeah,
leave a dislike for Shato's channel. Give me a like, okay? Shato is okay with dislike.
And also, I would just want to ask viewers, I'm planning to start a series on my channel about my life journey, which I told about to you and the viewers and listeners here on this podcast. So if you want a dedicated series on this, please let me know in the comments, so that I can make a series about it and discuss it in more detail.
Yeah, I'm going to delete those comments, guys. Okay. Thank you so much. Namaskaram.
Namaskar.